So hi there, welcome to Module 6, and this is your first task that is not really Stata based, and some lessons are not, we cannot really teach these things except we show you live uh, data. And I'm not saying data isn't live, but I'm just saying that we need something that is real and practical that you can work on. So here in this particular exercise, we have a boarding school and it has a total of 100 senior students across 5 grades. And we're asked to look at an Excel file, which we'll go to shortly. Some of the students have their biological parents working in the nearby factory. The factory has 100 workers also on their list with government IDs. The list of their names is in the Stata file attached. So there's a Stata file and there's an Excel file. Now prepare and evaluate the data and answer the following questions. How many of the students are teenagers? How many students have their parents working in the factory? How many students have another sibling in the school? How many teenagers have female parents? How many male parents do not have children in the school? So, I mean the ones who work in the factory. So, there are a couple of questions that will still come from this Excel document, and hopefully the parent file too. So let's have a look at the Excel file and what it looks like. So this is it here. So basically we have uh, 5 tabs for all the grades: grade 1 tab, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5. And we have a student ID, their math score, English score, economic score, geography score, physics score, chemistry score, biology score, and then the parent ID, the age of the student, and the best sports they like, their favorite sports. So I think that's it basically. And we're told there were 100. So that's one. The other one is the Stata file. So let's look at it. These are the names of the parents here, surname and the gender, and there are 100 of them if you look at the observation here. So 3 files, of course. One file just tells you what the other two are talking about and what you're supposed to produce with the other two. And then we will just start up the business. Now, all these files are stored in Dropbox in a folder called Module 6, so that you can have access to them. They're in the links in the video below, so you can use it to really practicalize. You can try to do yours yourself. But remember, you have to download, and then remember what I've always told you about changing your directories. Make sure you understand which folder is the default directory. Okay, without wasting so much time, we are going to start straight away. So you will see me in the practical session now. So hi there. This is the practical session. So what we just need to do here is just look at the files in the folder. So the one that we just had watched just a few minutes ago, which is the Word document that explains the problem. That is the one here. We've just finished reading it. And then the Excel spreadsheet. So I always advise that you quickly just inspect. Very important that you do that. Okay, so you have the grades that they mentioned in the Word document. There are 5 grades, and soon we'll get to know whether they are 100 students. So that's one. The next thing I will do is check the other file, which is the parent list. Just open it. Let me browse. So this is the file too. Okay, that's clear. So we start with our do files, one after the other. One of them, of course, is to save this. This has already been saved. And then just quickly examine. This is string, this is string, and this is number. Now this can be encoded. So if you had been in lesson number 3, or module number 3 rather, please pardon me, you should have learned about encoding. But it doesn't mean that we can't use it right now. but it's a string. That's the most important statement we have to make. Okay, so the goal right now is to go back to that Excel document, and then in the Excel document try to bring all this into one file. Okay, let's start the journey. So this has been used, so I will press Ctrl 9. Ctrl 9 is to help me open my do file editor, and then just put them side by side there. So I've been able to open. Let's clear the screen again and use unclear, use comma clear. Okay, so that's what we have. So the first thing is to import the Excel file here. So I will do my cd command. For the purposes of this particular exercise, I will be, where is this other stuff? Yeah, it's here. I will be using, so we can clear if we want to clear, that's fine. These are all fundamental stuff. So we do a change of directory, which is here, and then we try and get the file name. So sometimes what I do is I go to the file name, I press Fn, like if I want to rename the file, Ctrl C to copy exactly what that file is, and then come back here and need to tag this thing together so it's always together. I come back here to import, so import Excel using, and then I highlight the document. Now because there is a space here, it is best that the file is in inverted commas, so it knows that this is the entire file, module 6 underscore student. So please take note of that. Please take note of that. And then comma, now have the options for this command. We want to import the first row as the header, and then comma clear. So also take note of this comma, and then let's run things now. So good, it's now been inside Stata, but we did not specify the sheet, so we'll have to do that. So we start with sheet equals to grade 1. Let's do that now. So this is grade 1, 11 variables. Let's browse. This was the variable here. So we have two string text here. This is string, parent ID string, best party string. All the others are numeric numbers. So this is interesting now. So the first thing I want to emphasize here for alignment is that parent ID here is string, but when we go into the file here, which we used, let's use this parent data, the one we showed. Let's start with that here, comma clear. Okay, and then yeah, so if we run this now, these two lines, parent ID here is what's the word, it's numeric. So what I could do is, after I have imported the parent ID here, I to string, first thing I think we should do is to string parent. So if you want to drag, I've taught you how to do this. Not to string, actually it's the string rather, sorry. So I'll change that now. It's a string already, so I want to destring it. So destring, comma, replace. So the idea is that the parent ID in this file, we'll be able to talk to the parent ID in that file. And that's the first thing we establish, that they are connected to each other via the parent ID. I've also said that it's very important that we always check in our data sets that we have our ID variables. So definitely we have a student ID variable, which is here. We're going to check it. And we also have a parent ID variable here. Well, there are two IDs here. This is student ID, which means this is unique for student or should be unique for each student. And each student has a parent here. Okay, so now when we finish importing, we need to save the file. So let's save grade 1 comma replace. When we do that, because we have specified cd change directory in 7, the file is saved under grade 1 here, it's saved here. So that's what happens here. Good. So we're going to duplicate this effort for the 5 grades. Now I'll need to go back to the Excel spreadsheet. So you see it, there's grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4. We have to bring all of them and convert them to Stata and then use them. Now bear in mind, I keep saying this is very beginner level. There are faster ways of doing this, so and you will find some on the channel. So what I do for those teasers, I just tell you try and do this in six lines of Stata code. That's for advanced guys, but just grow at your pace. But it's not wrong to peep sometimes into what the advanced guys are doing to shorten their code. Okay, and it's very interesting, so I'm really looking forward. So please don't forget to subscribe. You get some advanced stuff here too. Like I would really like to do a video where I ask people to solve the same problem without using less lines of code. Okay, I go back to the fundamentals that we have been working on. So the goal is to make sure that all these 5 grades are converted to Stata, and then we append them because we have to see the whole students on one list. Right now they are split across 5 lists, and that's the key strategy for solving this problem. So sometimes when I give you a task to do, I don't want you to rush it. Once you start rushing it, it's likely you're going to miss it. So you have to understand what I tell my students. I call them traps. I've said booby traps in the data. It's for you to catch. Although I don't think this has much, sincerely, advanced students can relate to what I'm talking about. So I said booby traps in the data so you can be able to detect what you should be able to detect. So, but I'm just going straight into the meat of the matter without disturbing myself on that. Okay, we are back here now. Back to our do files, back to our screens here. So I'm going to copy this and just paste it 5 times and just change a few things in 2 places basically. This is grade 1. Paste again, that's 3 times. Paste again 4. Paste again 5. Okay, so what I do, this is grade 2 and save it as grade 2. This is grade 3, save it as grade 3. Did I do it? Okay, oh sorry, there are 2. So this is grade 1, sorry. So let me just cut this out since we have made it 2 here. This is 2, this is 4, grade 4. So all I'm doing is importing each of the grades and saving them into this folder here. That's all. And destringing for each of them, destringing the parent ID. And then this is the last one. This is grade 5. Grade 5. So we can run all of them together. So everything has been saved. And how do we know? When we go to module 6, we can see all the 5 grades here. There's grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5. All stored here. Interesting, isn't it? Okay, let's move on. So I will start with the grade 5 now because I want to append. So I'll say use grade 1 rather, grade 1. You can actually start from anywhere. That's the truth, no laws, but I just like things to be orderly. Grade 1, and then I will say append using grade 2, then create space, grade, sorry, not spelling grade well, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5. So we have them here. Pop, pop, pop. Good. So we have all the students from grade 1 to grade 2. So you open the first grade, put it in memory, and then add. Now we also said we also generate grade variable. That shows us the appended master data set and all that we had shown you in the practice, in the theory section of this module. So this just creates a variable that shows the status of the appending that happened. So now let's run. I like to always run and have this at the side. So we have appended. So the first thing I want to check quickly, I've taught you how to do this in module 3, is the observations are 100. So data is complete or should be complete, But basically on the context we have been given, our data is complete. And then we have 12 variables. So we may want to see them too. So let's see how it is now looking. Let's go back here, 100 variables, 100 observations, 12 variables. And now we have an additional variable called grade, master, dataset 1, dataset 2, 3, 4, like that. Now we've said master is 0, append dataset is 1, and as you go down to 2 is also 2. So we need to label properly. So we're going to define the label now. Label define. You can also call it grade, which I like to do. And I will say I call 0 grade 1, comma, modify. Now this makes it very fast to do. There are other ways of using label definition, but this for me is the fastest because you can copy many lines and adjust quickly. So this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and this is 5. Of course I need to change this to 1, 2, 3, and 4. All I'm saying is the first, by default, grade is called master, and it's always the one in the memory is always 0. So there are other ways of doing it if you want to do that, you want to still modify stuff, but I will just keep it simple now. Now when I'm done with that, I will say label values. This is when you attach the definition to the label. Please, if you have difficulty understanding this, you may need to go to module 3 on the YouTube channel and check it out. So when I do this now, please pay attention to this column right now. What I'm saying is change these labels. These labels, they're not serving my purpose. So I'm going to run them now. And then let's go back to grade. So we have grade 1 neatly done up to grade 5. So we have them done. So we have it in one form right now, and that's now you're now ready to go back to the questions. So let's see how much of the questions we can answer right now, or what's the strategy now that we have that. So what I would call this file after saving is save student comma appended comma replace, sorry, underscore appended comma replace. So we've saved the file. We have not run it, but we'll save it shortly. So let's run it again. So that's it, completely labeled. And then parent ID, have you observed it's no longer string, it's now black. So the only string we have here is Beck spots, which is fine. And then we have a categorical label for the grades, all of them in one place. It's now time to look at the question again and see how we start. So it says, how many students are teenagers? So how many students are teenagers? So there are many ways to skin a cat. That's the truth. So, but I want to follow every command, every function I taught you. So the first thing is what I've always said when I'm training you guys is what's the concept of a teenager? If you don't know what a teenager is, you will never be able to answer this question. Of course, a teenager is anybody between the ages of 13 and 19. So how many students are teenagers? Quite straightforward. There are many things you can do. You can say browse, which is easier. You can see all of them, and then you can check if some would take the easy way out. Or you can use count command. I've told you that before. If in range, now we look for age 13 to 19. So let's run the file now. Now it says 82 out of 100 are teenagers. There are 100 students, 82 are teenagers. So that means all the other 18 are outside the range. They're either lower than 13 or higher than 13. So we've answered question 1. Very straightforward, simple and straightforward to address. So let's look at question number 2 now. Let's go there. How many students have their parents working in the factory? Wow, this is interesting. So let's go back and look at our do file again and see what we can do. Now, to answer this question, the students and the parents have to talk to each other. They have to combine. How many students have their parents working in the factory? So let's do a merge. So I say I want to merge. In the students, now you assume, because parents, there's also a question about siblings here. You know, parents may have more than one child. Let me just push this also to half of the screen. Parents may have more than one child. So the relationship from parent to students is ideally many to one. So the current data set is students. So many students using parent ID, using, let's look at the name of the file now. The file is parent list here, which all of them are in the same folder. So let's merge, and it will be good to see how the results come out in the results window. Okay, and I need to remove this, just comment it out, and let's run again. Okay, apparently there's some browse command somewhere, maybe I have not taken care of. Oh, I understand. I am looking at the screen. Okay, so see what we have here. It says the parent ID deliberate to does not uniquely identify observations in the using data. What is basically saying is that we have duplicates in the parents list. We have duplicates there. So which we needed to have done first. So I'm just taking you through the entire process now, how the errors happen and how you manage them. So I've taught you this, but it's deliberate to have skipped that line so that you can understand how to manage such challenges when you see them. So it's always best practice to check for duplicates. So what you should have done here is ID parent ID. So let's do it quickly and run. So it says parent does not uniquely identify observations in this section. That's fine. So what we will do right now is to duplicates tag parent ID gen duplicates, let's call it duplicates underscore ID. So I want to check browse if duplicates underscore ID. So what this just does is that if it's a duplicate which was generated here, it will show you all the lines where we have the duplicates out of the 100. Sorry, I need to take out this ID out of the way because it will not go to the next line of the code. Okay, so let's run. So you see Lilian Moon female is, let's me sort to, okay, I've not taught you sort command, so I can't use that now. So by default, so there's 431 here, there's 431 here, there's 714 here, there's 714 here, there's 496 here, there's 496 here, there's 319 here, 319 here. So this can never happen, should never happen. Two people cannot have the same driver license ID, two cars cannot have the same number plates, two people cannot have the bank numbers, except, people like us want to share with Bill Gates, then we can have. But I'm sure you get the gist of the matter. It's not possible. So someone may have made an error with the IDs, and we need to communicate that. So what we can do for now, while we are solving the problem, is send these names to the client who gave to us and say, these are the things we found. Some parents have the same IDs. So, but for us to continue with the analysis we are doing, we will now drop them. So we'll drop all the duplicates because we don't know who owns what. So we are dropping in all 8 out of the 100, which is very bad because we are losing some parents, but it's just temporary. Now we have not gotten to the place of cleaning, and that's why this particular work file, we will continue using it till probably even module 9. We just want to use this to end the course. So let's drop the duplicates for now. In the parents data, duplicates, drop if duplicates ID. Sorry, I didn't spell that right. One had a dash, and that matters in Stata. The other has an underscore. So, and then I'll remove this is ID. So what this does is just drops the duplicates. Sorry, I wanted to save. Let's just leave that. Okay, now I run. So when I run now, I'll still have the problem because I've not saved a new copy. So what I will do is I will now save, after dropping, save parents list without duplicates. So it's always good to also save your file because it's too long with some kind of description, so it's easy to have a sense of what the file was all about. So I will run now again, but now I'm supposed to do the merge with the one without the duplicates, otherwise the errors will keep persisting. So parents list without the duplicates. Now let's run. Now when we run, let's look at what we produced in our results window. So out of the 92 parents, I hope I'm correct. Yeah, we dropped, let's find out how many we dropped. So let me just go down nice and slow. Drop if out of 100 we had dropped 8, so there are 92 here. So out of the 92 parents that are here, when we merge them with let's merge to the end now. Let's run to the end. Let's minimize this. But we out of the 92, when we merge them, it's only 8 that align perfectly. Only 8 that align perfectly. Only 8. So 92 from the other end did not, 86 from this data set did not align at 92. Only 8 parents have their children. Now, we have not resolved the duplicates. If we had, we may have a little more of the parents, but only 8 parents. for now, and then you provide the context because there are duplicates that are not yet resolved. Now, it's beyond what you have learned so far because in module 9 is where we actually talk about how data is being cleaned. So if you hold on, if you have already depressed the notification bell, when module 9 videos come out, you will be able to understand what we need to do. And we're going to keep using this file till the end, like I told you, till some parts of module 9 or even till the end of module 9. So, but bottom line, based on the non-duplicates, we have 8 parents. So we have to put that in context to 8 parents. So we have answered the second question. First, let's look at the other question. Question 3 says, how many students have another sibling? This is 8, but this is subject to resolving those duplicates. So this is 8. The answer to this question is 8 students. And then I think we got this to be 82 students are teenagers. Okay, have another sibling. So what I will do is keep if underscore merge double equals to 3. So I'm just keeping those 8 students basically. So when I run them, where are we? So there are 8 observations left here. Let's look at them. So these are the 8 students here, and these are their parent IDs. So we've been able to bring the parents together. So they're asking if there are any that are siblings. Any that are siblings. So let's see. So to do that, the siblings will belong. Now I can see them clearly here. So don't, there are 2 people here, that have 550. So this is interesting. And then there is another 2 people here that have 866. So when you look at the student ID here too, you can see another set of duplicates. This should not be. This should not be at all. But for this particular course, for this particular module, we'll leave it because we are supposed to have evaluated it in the next module. So we just leave it because there's something we wanted to achieve. So this is completely impossible, but it's likely they have the same parents, and then we will find out why in the other version. So, but one of them is in grade 3, what is interesting. The other one is in grade 1, and they have their father called Josiah. Okay, so basically for now, and please just bear with me, we need to find that out. What's the word scientifically? So what we need to do is duplicates tag. How do you do that? Because this is just 8. What if there were 8 million? So it duplicates tag parent ID. So if the parent ID occurs twice in the data set, then we will now say gen siblings. So if you share parent ID, then you are definitely siblings. Okay, so now we say browse if siblings. So these are the 2 siblings that we have here, the parents. Now we don't have in the data set the names of the students. So this is very, very important that we don't have the name of the student, but it's very important that we solve the problem. So Zena Brian and Josiah Mark are the two parents that have more than one child in the school out of the 8 children. So half of the children are siblings. So that answers the third question. So let's just take it nice and slow. I mean, maybe I should have completed it a bit, but we still have some other things to do on this data. As you can see, it has some questions for sports. So we're coming back. So the answer technically is 4 students, you know. So now let's look at how many teenagers have female parents. Interesting question. And it's very tricky. First, the word teenagers, and then female parents. So the challenge is that we have damaged the data at this level. So we have dropped some things we should not drop. So it's very important. It's very important that we review from this level, because after we drop here, we have to be sure that we don't have any issues. But at this level, they have been changed. Do you understand? So what I mean by that is that we have teenagers here and we have female. So at this level, there's been a merge. So that 8 students is where we have to find if they are all teenagers and if they are female. So um, we have used keep if they are this, but we can as well just drop. Uh, it's best to export all these answers to Excel. To be good to export all the 82 students. I've taught you that, so it's good you can do that in your practicals. To export, that is lesson for, I think, lesson module 2 or 3. So export all the teenagers using export Excel. Export all these 8, and you can do that based on condition. And then export those who are siblings. And of course, we're going to export those who are female and teenage parents. So just go back to the preserve restore videos too. They will greatly help you to know how to arrange it. But from the keep if, we have altered stuff. So, but I'm going to just do this, but I'm not going to do the export for you. Please just let me know how you do it, and let me see your do files when you do your own version. So what have I done? Preserve, and then I do all this. So there should be an export line around here. I leave that to you. So the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to still preserve and restore and keep if they are together. Now I want to count. That's what I can do. Count if. What's the condition for teenager? We have given it here. If in range is 13 to 19, and we use that logic in I believe module 2. So please go and check logic in module 2. Is and. Now, what is the variable for the parent's gender? So let's see what the variable is. So the variable is gender, which is here. So I can type it out here to gender and then bring it down here. So and gender, because it is a string, double equals to female. So teenagers double equal to female. Now let's run again. Now if you look at so we have 6 people who are teenagers and they are female. 6 people who are teenagers and their parents are female. That is what this is basically talking about. How many teenagers have female parents? 6 of them. So the answer here is 6. So you have to do this yourself, get your answers yourself, and then build confidence for yourself. We've said this over and over. It's not just about just looking at the videos, but also trying to duplicate. Now, the final one says, this is interesting. How many male parents do not have children in this group? Please take note of the word do not have. So when we merge this data, if you recollect the other part of part 2 of merge, where we took took med just the lesson before practicals. We said there are some. Let's just run it to that point again to line 60 and come back here. Good. So these guys here are in both lists. This one here is in what we call the master list, and the master list are the students. But this one, this 86 here, are from the parents list. They come from the parent list. It is the parents without duplicates. And those are the ones that don't have children in the school. What the question is saying is how many of them are male. So I will still do this. Now I'm not going to keep if because I'm not looking for that. I may as well just keep if merge equals to 2 because that's the person I'm looking for. And I can count if gender is male. So that's one way. Another way is preserve restore, combining those two lines and making it shorter. Try and do more efficient codes. So the two conditions are met in one line. So I would say count if underscore merge equals to 2 and gender equals to male. Look for, so all these underscore 2 merge equals to 2 are those who are just the parent list alone, but they cannot be found in the student list, and then they are male. So that's it basically. So let's run both and check if there is any difference in how they work. So this is 41 here, and this is still 41 here, because both lines 81 to 82 and lines 76 to 77, sorry, line 82 and line 76 to 77 are just saying the same things in different ways. So that's what we have, only that 82 is an abridged version, a combined version of 76 and 77. So out of the 82 people that we have, if I recollect, half of them, okay, is 86. Out of the 86, 41 of them are male. So I guess we have finished this exercise. So there's a couple of more exercises to do. This now is meant for you. We have spent close to a quarter of an hour. 3/4 of an hour. So we have to now just tidy it up. So I will add a few more questions now. So how many female, no, sorry, how many teenagers, just a few more questions, practice basketball? How many teenagers practice basketball in grade 2 and 5? So that's a question. One more question. How many non-teenagers had less than 90%, that's the scores, in both maths and economics? So those two questions are meant for you to get a share to do this. So please try to answer question number 5 using your own do files, and then just let me know in the comments. I've not given the answer here. The answer here is 41 parents are male. So please answer in the comments what you got, and then let's see uh, how we take it up from there. So thank you so much. A very long tutorial. The tutorials will be long and task, but I hope we have really gained some insight into how all this works. Thank you so much for your time, and I will see you in the next module, module 7, where we'll be talking about integers, outliers, and limits, and all the other consistency checks that happen. So see you in the next video. Bye for now.